Ground control to Major Tom. You really made the grade. And you put a strain on my theater-going experience with this one. What's going on, movie fans? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Adam, and today we are talking about a new release film in 2024, and that is I.s.s. International Space Station, directed by Gabriela Cowperthwaite. I really didn't know any of this movie even existed until a few weeks ago when I went to see Night Swim. I saw this trailer pop on, and I was like, Ariana DeBose in space. I'm a fan of hers, so might as well go give this a shot. There's the guy from Game of Thrones that I also find eerily charming and scary to look at as well. Very creepy guy, but he's awesome. We'll talk about that. And I really hadn't seen a space movie that really kind of appealed to me. I hadn't seen Ad Astra, and High Life was with Robert Pattinson. Those are two movies I definitely missed out on. But the last good space movie I really saw is I enjoyed Gravity for a lot for what it is, and I also liked Moon, but that was over 10 years ago at this point. And I did enjoy that Jake Gyllenhaal, Ryan Reynolds. I can't remember who else was in it, but Life, which funny enough, everybody thought was like Venom, like a spinoff, a prequel of Venom. And before that movie came out, that was really fun, kind of seeing the internet explode about that. So I was kind of going into it with some anticipation. I didn't really care for Night Swim all too well, but I had some hope for this one because we have an Oscar winner in it. So let's start talking about it. When a World War event occurs on Earth between America and Russia, both nations secretly contact their astronauts aboard the ISS and give them instructions to take control of the space station by any means necessary. Really awesome kind of setup to the story. We get kicked off right away with Ariana DeBose and John Gallagher Jr.'s characters boarding the ISS. They play Dr. Kira Foster, that's DeBose, and John Gallagher Jr. plays Christian here. We immediately get introduced to the cosmonauts here. The big standout for me is Pilo Asbach, who plays in Game of Thrones, and he plays a character named Alexei in this one. Of course, the other big notable actor is Chris Messina, who is Gordon Barrett, who had a big breakout last year with Air, so it's cool to see him back on the big screen here. And so we get introduced to these characters. We don't get a whole lot of development or backstory within any of them. They do kind of throw out hey, I have kids here. Oh, I have my family relationship here. I really want to do this thing over there. So there's kind of a lot of things said. We don't have a whole lot of development here. There's good camaraderie between all the actors and especially these characters. They do feel like they know each other for a long time, other than DeBose's character because she's brand new to this program here. But they all have this good chemistry and feel like they all bonded and know each other. But as an audience member, I kind of felt like a disconnect there because I don't know who these people are. I don't feel connected to these people, and there's not a whole lot of depth to them. And it's shortly after we get into the space station, we kind of get our bearings and we kind of test out the gravity, so to speak. They kind of lose track that we see a bunch of the Earth kind of exploding, which is kind of interesting. I'm kind of interested what's going on down there, and it's kind of the fear of the unknown. The astronauts and the cosmonauts don't know what's going on. So you're kind of putting yourself in those shoes, and you don't know what's going on either. So and then you get these messages saying, take the ISS with all force, and then you're yeah, okay, we got to do this, and where could it go? And I got to say, the movie really pushes the brakes here, because it is kind of a slower-paced movie. They don't really give you a whole lot to work with or leave it to the imagination, and I got to say, it was really hard not to fall asleep in this. In space, they may not hear you scream, but they won't hear you snore either. The best thing about this movie for me is Ariana DeBose here. Again, she is known for Hamilton, and she won her Oscar for West Side Story, and in The Heights, she was really good as well. But looking at her IMDb, there hasn't been a movie that she's been in that she hasn't had to sing or dance or have some kind of musical, theatrical thing. So this is being kind of a big breakout for her drama chops. DeBose is really good telling a story with her face because she kind of emotes these emotions, and you can kind of feel what she's feeling because she's trying to be secretive because of the cosmonauts might go after them, and it's kind of like a cat and mouse game here. But DeBose does a really good job at depicting her character, and I want to know more about her, honestly, and follow the story along. I wish it was kind of more focused on her and kind of how she got into this training, because I think that would be kind of a fascinating story, other than it's kind of the slow meandering pace that we got of a film, that even though they try to have some thrills there, it was something that we all kind of saw coming a lot of the times, and it kind of did show some stuff in the trailer mind you. The only other like performance I really enjoyed and I was captivated by was Paolo Asbach's character of Alexei. Of course, I'm a huge fan of his from Game of Thrones, and also because Run Sweetheart Run from a couple years ago, which we kind of blind spotted watched on the podcast. The really awesome film, and he was a big villain in there, and I really enjoyed that. But overall, like the movie doesn't really feel like it really answers anything, and there's like a twist that would near the end of the villains, and there's some characters that you think are bad, but they're quite not, and they're playing each other, and really you're just kind of like, okay, what's going on? And then at the very end of the movie, the credits start rolling, and you're like, what was resolved? Because I think they're still, the characters who do survive are kind of in a maybe almost worse spot than they were if they were up there. So it's kind of a like disappointing in a way. I don't know if I could be disappointed with a January release, because I don't know necessarily I had my expectations too high. I kind of wanted more of this. I think there was a good premise here. And I guess a conspiracy theory as I'm sitting here, is this like a prequel to, or like what's going on like with that Civil War movie that Alex Garland's directing? I don't think necessarily so, because I think that's like a civil war between the United States, nothing including Russia here, but just kind of interesting to kind of put some pieces together. But I wanted more from this. I think there's a premise here that would be fascinating, especially if they were able to dive into it a little bit more and make some more chilling thrills. I think they could definitely do something. There's been plenty of good space movies, and I say Life was a fun one. Yeah, it was a clunky, fun film, but I kind of enjoyed that movie. I got into those characters a lot more, and I enjoyed the kind of the thrills and the kills in that one. This one was kind of, like I said, like a meandering pace. I didn't really feel like it got going, and it was really hard not to fall asleep, quite honestly, in the theater. I definitely glad I had my energy drink there to just kind of get me through this film, because there was definitely times where it was like, okay, let's get moving here, and I was like, maybe I'll go use the restroom real quick, but then at the same time I don't want to leave, because they may give me an answer that I don't want to miss, and they really don't give you anything that I was wanting. The only good thing I can really say, if you are interested in this film, is yeah, go see it on the big screen, because I think the visuals alone are worth it, and the sound design setup are really fun, especially the scenes in space when they do journey out into space. It's cool to see that. And it's also cool to see Chris Messina with like this really big mustache. It's kind of funny to see that, honestly. But again, I'm not really high on I.s.s. or I.s.s. International Space Station. I really wanted to like this more. I think I'm kind of disappointed that I didn't really enjoy it too much. But that's just my honest thoughts and takes. What do you guys think? Do you guys like this one? Please like and share and subscribe, and comment in the comments section. Let me know in the comments section what you guys thought of I.s.s. and if it's something that you would recommend to your friends. Again, my name is Adam, the Almost Sideways Movie Podcast. Thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, we'll see you in the next video.